Hi team, in this video I'm going to talk about the introduction. In the introduction, you set the stage for your project. You explain why what you were doing is important. So there's instructions, a little more detail in the project instructions. This is not a skill we really talk about in class. We just don't have time for it. So I do grade this with a light touch, but I'm going to give you some tips here on a good format, I think, for writing it. So here's how I like to think of this. Paragraph 1, what are your outcomes and why are they important? Okay. So our two outcomes in this study are well-being and motivation to graduate. Okay, so this might be 2 paragraphs. So why might well-being be important? Well, how are college students doing? College students are a sample. How are they doing? So I in advance did this both Google and I used ChatGPT. It actually gave me very similar information, but here's an appropriate time to use ChatGPT. There's inappropriate times, but here's an appropriate time. So let's see. Let's ask our friend here. What are some statistics about college student well-being? Okay, so we've got some stats about depression, counseling use, physical health, exercise, nutrition, stress, burnout, sense of belonging, financial stress. Okay, so lots of things. So you don't have to do all these, but maybe pick something. So let's just look at this one. So let's say approximately 40% college students report experiencing severe anxiety. Here are a few more stats. Don't forget the source. You might need to ask ChatGPT again. So I might say, what's the source for the depression statistic? Okay. And yeah, you might need to dig a little bit to find it. Okay. So then I would so you're painting a picture of why caring about college students' well-being is important. Okay. And then you're going to kind of conclude these data suggest understanding college student well-being is important. Okay. And what about graduation? Let's find some stats. 63%, 45% graduate within 4 years. Okay. Yeah, there's some things about, you can break that down by gender, by public versus private, all kinds of things. So let's pick. Only about 45% of college students graduate within 4 years. Source. Okay. Let's beef up this argument a bit. Graduation important. Here we go. Here's a good stat. Median weekly earnings of bachelor's degree is 67% higher. Okay, so college graduates earn on average 67% more than non-college graduates. Thus, assessing factors that influence motivation to graduate is worthwhile. Okay, so I set up why my two outcomes are important. Okay, now I want to set up why my predictors might be important. Okay, in this case, it's stress and coping strategies may influence well-being and motivation to graduate. Okay. Coping strategies can take various forms. Define different strategies. Okay, you've got the different strategies, so just define them there. Okay. Now you're going to answer why might these things relate to well-being and graduation. You can use ChatGPT to help you here, but you're also going to have to dig into the library at some point because you need some peer-reviewed sources, not just ChatGPT. And you're just going to need your brain. Right? So let's just really quickly look at coping strategies. Okay, I'm going to go through this fast. We did this in an earlier application assignment. Hopefully fast. So let's look at coping strategies, well-being. Okay, let's be a little more generic. Let's say coping strategies and impact. So how do they impact? I'm not loving these sources. Oh, so here's a nice one. I should be able to just get by with the abstract. Conclusion, anxiety and depression are prevalent with poor quality of life. Actually, this doesn't help me a lot. Study evaluates coping styles and their relationship with mental health and quality of life. Here we go. In terms of coping strategies, acceptance was the most commonly preferred. Okay, so you could say among, let's see, cystic fibrosis patients, and then connected back to college students. This suggests that coping strategies may also help college students. Okay. You're making an argument that coping strategies and stress might predict well-being and motivation to graduate for college students. May not, you probably won't find an article that's going to say that exactly, so you need to find similar things. Again, do your best on this. Then you're going to wrap up something like this. Given the above, this project assesses the following research questions. Okay, and I gave them to you in the instructions. There you go. Take out the well, you can do that. That out. Okay, you can do it that way. You could be a little broader. You could say this project purpose of this project was to examine the relationships between stress and coping strategies with well-being and motivation to graduate. You could also say that simple. Okay. So to recap, part one, why are well-being and motivation to graduate important for college students? Part two, why might stress and coping strategies predict well-being and motivation to graduate? Part three, given the above, let's find out. In other words, the purpose is, this is not an opinion piece. I know you probably have ideas of why stress is related to well-being. You probably have good ideas. Not the place for that. Grounded in statistics, grounded in previous research. That's what I'm looking for. Grounded in statistics, grounded in previous research. Also, another tip to clean up the writing. Here's another good use of ChatGPT. That's going to be horrible here, but take your writing. I do it a paragraph at a time, and just say, make this better. I gave it a lot of crap, so it's really gonna. And clean it up. Keep it in your own voice, but that'll help clean it up. All right, thus concludes the introduction.